Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate, episode 91, one day later than we normally air. Tonight, we are going to be talking Worlds Prep, what lists you should be seeing, how you should play against them, and what their weaknesses and strengths are. We're also going to be covering Nickel City Season 3, Week 2 for the Nickel City League, talking a little bit about who's on top, who's not on top, who is underperforming, and who is overperforming. Hence, one of the hosts on the podcast, he's got to get a loss in here. We got to get him a loss. Otherwise, he's going to feel too bad that he didn't get his Worlds ticket and isn't able to go, which is actually really sad now because of the amount of wins this one host on the show has, and now isn't going to Worlds. So I think he should go anyway and still try to play and see what happens. With that being said, let's bring in my co-host for tonight. Please welcome to the show, JJ. The Empire is different than what everybody else gets to see because he likes to fly a crazy Palpatine-less ship. And Alex from Bench Warmers podcast. How are you doing tonight, sirs?
I'm doing pretty well, I guess. It's a Monday, so it's kind of weird.
It is weird. It is a Monday, but last night was flogging Dropkick Murphys, so it was by the time I got home, I was not in a shape to podcast. We'll just put it that way. I was not drunk though.
So how long was the concert last night?
So it technically I got home by 11:30. I originally thought because there was nobody else on the bill. Like originally there was like there was people, but then the website showed nobody. So we just thought they moved the concert up an hour earlier. Nobody else is on the bill. It's just gonna be Dropkick Murphys playing for 2 hours. I'll be home before 9 o'clock. Or by 9 o'clock, we could just go live 9:30, call it a day. No, it's a good thing we didn't try.
Yeah, it's sad.
Now, did they play the Spicy McHaggis jig?
They did not play the
What a
Spicy
shame.
McHaggis jig. They played a lot of stuff, though.
Man.
They played a lot of stuff off their new album that it just came out, and they did the electric versions of it because they kind of released an acoustic basically it's a cover, but not cover. Like essentially the songs on the album were written by Woody Guthrie, the lyrics for it, and then they wrote the music to it with permission from the estate and everything. And it's a really good album, and it's funny to listen to him because he goes, "If you think we're not political, I'm here to tell you." And I think I said this on the show back in November, but he did this almost the exact same speech about punching Nazis and fascists. So it was hilarious. Fun time.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, for us here, we were able to stream 2 games, one on Saturday morning and one right before the show a while ago. We had 2 excellent games here for Nickel City League. So it was great to have those games streamed. It's always fun to commentate on games, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more games here for our podcast here for Nickel City. It's been a great league so far, and it's been fun.
Well, if you want a late night game, 10:15 on Wednesdays, when my game will probably be.
I might make it. Maybe we'll see. It'll depend on what time I get home. So,
but anyway, yep. So Nickel City League has been fun. This episode I dedicate to a book I'd never heard of. And Alex, you were not privy to the conversation ahead of time, but I Googled Dead Troopers thinking, oh, I'll just find a cool image, for the show, because the road to Worlds is paved with Dead Troopers. Hopefully, because there's a lot of murdered Imperial and Republic ships. That's what I'm hoping happens here for Worlds. I actually would root for Resistance over either of those factions to win Worlds. But we'll get to our world's predictions later. But as I was Googling it, there's a book series. I'm dead serious. What is it? JJ, did I tell you is 2006 or 2009?
2006, yeah.
2006, called Dead Troopers. Dead serious. And it's like about this viral infection that gets aboard a Imperial Star Destroyer. And I'm assuming it turns them into zombies. I've never read this book, though.
Yeah, it was during the whole craze for that genre back then. So it makes sense that they jumped on that bandwagon and put the Star Wars spin on it.
So I don't know, Alex, have you ever heard of that book?
I have not, but they have a prequel called Red Harvest, which is a great shout out to the original name of the Star Wars movie. I can respect that.
Yeah, which like I say, it's just, to me, it was hilarious. I thought it would be fun play on words, and thought it would be a fun thing for us to talk about tonight. With that being said, why don't we move into our first segment, and we will be talking a little bit about Nickel City League. So on the screen, I have the stats. We are going to break them down by the ranking of all the teams, and then we'll break down each of the different divisions. So, JJ, why don't you start us off with who is on top?
Well, currently right now on top, we got the V team leading the entire league right now, winning at 2-0 with 7 wins and 178 points scored between all the players there for their team. They've done very, very well. I've actually watched a few of their games already on Nickel City. Their players have been very, very good at scoring points, which is the most important thing to get ahead in this game here. Followed by the one and only Team Endgame, your captain here speaking. Team Endgame coming up very, very close behind with an 11-point differential, right behind Team V team. Bringing up the second place there, followed by Order 66, also another 2-0 team there. We did stream their game earlier tonight, and they did suffer the loss to Team Fox, but they're running strong with 6 games won and 174 points between all their games there. So yeah, we got 3 very strong teams there. Currently 2-0 for this week 2, going to week number 3 that started this past basically at 12 midnight this morning. Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. I will say Team Havoc is 0-2 with only
surprising.
2 games won. That is crazy, but maybe it's because when you don't get all your first round picks because you won the league twice. I don't know. I think that's very interesting. Chris, there's 2 games they've only won. So
yeah, it's definitely very surprising seeing Havoc 0-2 so far, considering the players that they have on their team, and only have a total of 2 games won in the first 2 weeks. That is a stat that I would have not imagined Team Havoc to have. That is definitely very, very surprising.
So on the other side of things, we broke them down by divisions, and we don't have to spend a long time, so we are the only undefeated team in our division. Who are we playing this week? We are playing
Team
Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And they are looking to offset us and take us down a notch, as they've so graciously put in the stream or in the draft league
the Discord.
I feel like I should
definitely
wait and play my game on Sunday again. Like, I think I just wait and always play my game on Sunday. I like playing my game on Sunday.
You are my second round pick, bro. I need you. Okay, I need you to go in there, kick some ass, and get the win, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. So last week I played Kester, who was undefeated, I believe, last season. I don't know how I got stuck with Kester, but you stuck me with Kester. And then, so I will say I was never a big fan of Boba Rook Kanan, because I always feel my stupid thing dies right away. And I will not tell you how many times I took a reinforce or a focus action and then realized I'm just going to lose it to the jam. which I guess doesn't matter because what other action are you going to take that you're not going to lose to a jam, with Rook? But Kanan did a lot of
the
work.
rest of your team.
Yeah.
He did.
It did, and it
Definitely.
forced them to jam specifically Rook. And Boba rolled fire. Like, Boba, murdered ships almost every round that he was at range 1.
Yeah, Boba definitely was very, very huge in that game, and hopefully we'll be putting that up on YouTube very soon. But if you did miss it, catch that replay on Twitch. It was a very good game at the end. It was very close, too, at the end. It came down to that last round where you managed to pull the win there. So, yeah, it was great.
Yep. So this week, I got to find a different list to run. I don't know Darren Schwartz personally. I don't know if he was part of the league last season.
I don't believe so, yeah.
So I don't know where he's from. And I don't think he's played any stream games because I went looking a little bit on Greg's channel and I didn't see any. So if anybody knows Darren, I'd love to watch some of his stream games before I play. But
just to observe, not to formulate a plan or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure people do that. I have enough stream games of me, except for everybody's at a disadvantage because I don't run Scum. So you could go back and watch me play CIS all day long, but I'm not gonna. But I don't play Scum, so
see,
you don't get to see me any of my moves.
My draft selection for you was planned, and it is paying out in dividends. I knew it.
Well, I only won one game so far, so.
Can you file a protest that you're in the Share division and not the Sunny division because Sunny is from Michigan? What's up with this?
Oh, yeah, that's
from
true.
Detroit.
That's true.
Unless it's Sunfucking ShareTech, then it's great.
That's you know what? We're gonna call it the ShareTech division. JJ, you need to go give that info to Greg and tell him we want to rename our division. Create a poll today in the draft league and make sure that we get that name changed.
So Star Wars, it's my favorite pilot.
ShareTech and what?
Sunfox.
Bounder?
Mantek.
Yeah.
No,
that too.
It's ShareTech and Sunny Bounder. That's the name of the other division.
I do Sunny Bounder. I like that. It doesn't have to all be CIS. If you do all CIS, Alex, they'll think it's they'll think that they will. Nobody will go for it. They'll be like, it's just Tanner being a droid head again.
But I love the Nantex. They're one of my favorite ships to fly. Unironically.
Yeah. Did you like them because they were really good when they were undercosted, or do you like them because they're fun to actually fly?
I almost won Michigan regionals with the day they were released.
Oh, there you go.
With Sunfox, ShareTech, and Grievous. It was a disgusting time. It was great.
Yeah.
I told that Guri, you aren't participating in this tournament, in this firefight at all. You're going 45 degrees outside everywhere. You can't see anything.
Guri comes in, you go, nope, bye, Guri, get out. We don't like you. So it looks like this week, so JJ is playing Teddy. Cam gets to play Brendan. Darren plays Maui, and Key and Patrick get to be up. And then next week we have a bye because of Adepticon. So which is kind of sad. At the same token, I kind of don't want to have to deal with playing next week, but
yeah, exactly. Get some much needed rest before the big showdown at Adepticon, and hey, I hope you do very, very well at Adepticon. I'm wishing the best for you. And what was your record last Adepticon? Do you remember? 3-2-1.
No, I was 3-3.
You were 3-3. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, I was 3-1-2. I had 2 draws and 1 loss.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 2 draws. Yeah.
Yes, so, was that's why I bitched about draws so heavily because I had 2 of them.
Hey, man. I mean,
how do you pull that off?
that was in the before times, Alex.
You did
that's
better
what makes
than
it impressive.
You did better than I did, man. So, and I was running Trajectory Simulator B-Wings. Okay, so I fully expect you to go 4 wins minimum, if not make the cut. So, I'm rooting for you, man.
Yeah. So you want to know? Did I tell you what I ran, Alex? I was the guy that said screw running a bunch of Missile Jedi and Hawk. I was like, I'm not doing that. I ran two handmaidens, Wolf, Contrail, Click, and Barris, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
that
it was
sounds about right.
six or seven ships. I had 6 or 7.
It was 7. You
It
had
was
7
like
ships, yeah.
It's crazy. Who else did I have then? If I had, because I had Barris, Click, Contrail, Wolf, Danae. I had Danae. Because you could fit Danae for whatever crazy reason. I don't, So if I had put a little bit more effort, I think, into flying that list beforehand. So Alex, the whole story is I got really pissed off because I thought droids were not going to be good. And none of us knew how to play objectives. And all of it just angered me because every time I played droids, they just got wiped off the table. So I was like, what is the most amount of ships I could put on the table that I own? And it happened to be Republic, 7-ship jank. Yep. And that's what I ran.
I ran Procket Jedis. I wasn't at Adepticon, but I had Prockets on Obi-Wan and Plo Koon. I never lost with that list ever.
Wow.
It was disgusting. It was like Procket Obi, Procket Plo, 7th Fleet Gunner Hawk, Barris, and Contrail. And it killed lists. It wasn't an objective list. It was dirty.
I'll still make the claim that I am the reason why they banned Trajectory Simulator B-Wings because it was just oppressive. But that's what I pretty much ran. It was so much fun. I had Gina, Tennum, Braylon, Ezra in the TIE Fighter, and Ibit's Thumb as my Leia carrier. So 5 ships, 3 of them B-Wings. First turn, do a 4 straight and then do an Afterburners boost to go into the center with 3 of my B-Wings and then trajectory simulate the very next turn and dared you to come after me while I double tapped you where you went through my bombs. It was such a jousty list, and man, it was great.
But if you live through it, and you could easily just wipe those B-Wings off the ground.
Yeah. It was a big if. It was definitely a big if, but yeah.
Didn't we map it out? I think we mapped it out that one time where you could the amount of bombs you could launch could cover almost a whole 3/4 of a portion of the table.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
So anyway, that's kind of where we're at in Nickel City League. We have 10 weeks, so this is obviously by no way definitive of anything. So technically anybody could come back and win this easily from here on out. So
absolutely.
And so if it's 10 weeks, that means we have a bye week next week. So that means we have 7 weeks left. So we'll be into mid-May before playoffs start.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then May will get crazy. May's going to be crazy. All I can say is I don't know how many weeks of playoffs we get, but we have to be done around June time because I have my work has mandatory we're going to be crazy busy June through July. So hopefully Greg doesn't start league up and then till maybe August.
And hopefully you're here in North Carolina for June, man. Just saying, early June.
Yeah, let's secure that before you make any gross announcements.
I know, man. Just waiting.
So, all right. So let's move on to the main part of the show. And I'll be honest, the one thing we did not get to cover was the rules that they kind of put out there for Adepticon. I'm not going to say we won't. I'm not going to say we won't cover those, but I have heard them on 5 other podcasts, so we're probably not going to cover them right now. Yeah. If we hit time at the end of the show or next week, we can. But what I really want to focus on is lists that you could possibly see, how to kind of counter them, and all of that. Because to me, that's kind of the big thing is, if you are going... If you are going to Worlds, you probably should be a little bit prepared. So I asked Alex and JJ and myself to submit some lists that we felt we would see as popular. So I'm going to make the first comment I'm going to make off the top is I did not put Luke Han Wedge on here. And I know I can see Nick in the comments, and Nick's going to go, well, that's definitely a top contender list. And I'm doing it so that nobody else flies it for Nick. I do think it is true. There is that Han, there's a Han Luke Wedge list that's pretty disgusting. There is a Han, Ahsoka, and God, what's the name of that stupid VCX?
Callus.
Yeah, Callus. That is pretty disgusting as well. Those are two like big hitter lists that you should look out for. But at this point, I didn't feel we had to spend a lot of time going through them. So, Alex, why don't you grab which one do you want to take first to kind of review?
I'll just do the first one.
Okay.
I forgot where I saw this from. I know I pulled this from a tournament. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. You can do Han Solo and 4 A-Wings, which just doesn't sound right. But you can do it. And it's Boy Han. You haven't seen him many places. Like, you've seen him around, but it's not like he's made a big splash, I believe. But I still think he's a solid piece, especially for 7 points, especially when he can fit 4 other A-Wings. And then you have Tycho, Composure, Trick Shot, HLC, Mag Pulse, I believe is what he had. I like Mag Pulse over like concussions, but that's just me. And then this person had Prockets on Keo, which is really crazy to me. And Predator, Crack Shot, Arvel. I don't see why you'd run anything else. And then Marksmanship and Concussion Missiles on Derek Clivian. That it seems like a pretty solid list for objectives. I'm not sure about the offensive potential of this, but you can do fun things.
Yeah, I'll say the only thing I worry about with the list is the amount of munitions that it has with it, right? Like taking certain types of objectives. I don't know. I don't agree with you. I do not like Mag Pulse over Concussion personally. Not on Tycho.
So I think it's more of a salvage thing, right? You want to guarantee that at least at a high initiative, you're able to at least have an answer for the salvage carriers on that particular scenario there. So it's kind of like teching against that. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have Tycho trying to line up the HLC over Magpulse and just rather take that shot there. Ultimately, Tycho could potentially just set up a trick shot in Magpulse, and that's a 4-die attack against a ship that could possibly have that crate there and get that guarantee hit. Or you can use it defensively, and if you need to keep somebody alive, getting that deplete jam on that ship is very huge to ensure that something is going to live and not take as much damage there. I've actually ran into this list in my locals here. I was playing my Separatist Swarm against this particular list, and let me tell you that Han Solo being able to coordinate after he hits an attack is huge for helping either Tycho line up a shot or enabling the proton rocket on Keo by giving it the coordinate focus into boost or barrel roll. Viva already has focus to line up that proton rocket shot. And there's pretty much nothing you can do about it other than just make sure that Han does not get his damage into you. So this list has a lot of teeth, and it's hard to pin this down. They can very well contest objectives, and they can definitely do damage. So it's good.
Yeah. So Nick says he thinks it's great for assault, possibly chance. I would say this list is very good for chance because you can focus and then Han can hover. And I think I know 8-point Han is just one more point, right? I know that, but like this Han, I had to play against this Han in Rust Cup, and I do not feel that this Han should be discounted personally. I'm a little surprised at how durable that Han is. It doesn't have the double tap hitting, right? You know, that you get with the Bistan builds, but I don't know. It's still pretty bloody good. And if they invest a lot into this Han, it's just, I don't know. It's a little bit harder. So I think Han is your bait in this one, and they say if everybody goes into Han, you bring the A-Ways then behind you to murder you. That's what this like kind of list feels like a bait and switch list. And if you leave Han alone, Han's gonna come in and do crazy things to you.
Yeah, this list is fast. Like all those ships are very, very fast, and all of them have boost, and that's scary on a Falcon.
Yeah. So there's that. The next list that we have is Keo with more of my preferred build. With elusive and concussion missiles. Luke with shattering shot, trick shot, proton, R3. I know some people have not been running the trick shot, shattering shot. I think that should still be paid attention to. Then you have Kraken with plasma, elusive, Tycho with concussion, HLC, composure, and trick shot, and then Cullaby with hopeful, R4, contraband. And I guess I didn't know how to build Cullaby out per se. I didn't know if they were using the contraband with it or not.
I think people build out Colby Sperado by bringing Boyd Jack Porkins.
Okay. Is that what they just do instead? Just bring Boyd Jack?
I think so. I think it's just like not objectively better, just like it fits a little bit better. You don't have to like worry about that. The splash damage off of that can be pretty lethal.
Yeah, and Colby is definitely a much more aggressive X-wing out of the other two, just because of the ability to take that focus boost and being able to essentially get that position. It makes it act more like an A-wing with R4, and it can punch harder. But Jack being at 4 points, or even Garvin Dre's at 4 as well. Probably is a better call more than Colby, just because they have access to torps. But still, Colby is definitely a ship that you should not sleep on. It definitely can get into some good spots with its ability.
Yeah. And so Nick's saying that people aren't running the trick shot, shattering shot because you can't put the R3 on there, which makes sense. I mean, in that case, you just upgrade your droid to you could do the R2D2, or what's the other one that they have that is the repair droid? Is it the R5 or R6?
R5D8.
Yeah. And that's like there's one of them that you don't have to take disarm specifically for. So I think that's, if you're not going to run that, you are going to see a Luke with proton torpedoes. If you want R3, then you're going to have to drop trick shot or shattering shot down. So I don't know. I am more of a regen guy personally, but I also know that people have been taking similar type things to this. This list is very good at chance. And this list is decent at assault. This list is probably not super great at the crate carrying stuff, but it could pick up at least one crate. I think my theory is if you have a 5-ship list, if you get one crate, but you're able to murder a couple of ships a turn, or a couple of ships and, like get them down pretty quickly, you don't need like 3 crate carriers. You don't have to have that. But when you don't have the firepower output, it's a little bit harder to catch up with that. But I really think Keo and Luke and Kraken just going in there. You can also put swarm tactics. I guess if you really wanted to move one of the other 2 ships up, but it kind of feels like a waste of points to me because it's not an I6. That's just my opinion. Yeah. I don't know if Keo needs to be an I5 or not. Not for the points value, Yeah,
I'm a big fan of ion torpedoes on Kraken. Just because other I5s have target locks, and he can take off the locks with the ion torps. People forget about that. And with a list like this, where you just have like X-wings, like just getting someone when they're ionized is huge, because they do a lot of damage then.
Fair enough.
But I can see plasma torch.
Yeah,
plasma torch are great too.
It allows you to be a lot more defensive. Yeah. I'm personally a fan of Snapshot on Iron as well, so you could potentially get the double coordinate off, essentially. But yeah,
You're stop with the jank. It's not, nobody else is running that, and you have not ran that since, like, you have not ran that in a long time. So when you win a tournament with it, then we'll take you seriously. Like,
Okay,
I agree with
alright.
you for when we were talking about Aces High, but which we have to do another Aces High segment next week
Heck yeah, man.
because they're going to allow medium 6-point bases in Aces High for whatever reason. I don't
Oh,
understand.
That's not okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like
Nora.
no. You know my
Nora.
opinion on Nora. Come on, JJ. No.
I will win Aces High with Nora. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'll
you
do it.
sure you will. I did win with Wedge, so I feel like
Yeah,
I already have Wedge
that was
pack.
good
That's
Wedge.
probably going to be just what I play because it's just already there, and people are going to hate it and be pissy about it. So
That's a good
Also,
wedge.
one thing worth of note. Sorry. Like the boy versions of like Arvin and like Wedge and stuff like that, they do have the attack speed. So if they grab a crate and do like a 4 straight, they can still do the attack speed like boost off of it. It's not an action,
Mhm.
so they can go even faster with it.
Mhm.
It's kind of a nice thing that people don't realize.
it's not an action to do that.
Nope.
Correct. Yeah, you just go fast and then go
It's
faster.
like an aileron, basically.
But ailerons say it's a boost action.
No, they're not.
No, they don't.
You got to read the
That's the whole
FAQ. You got to read the updated FAQ.
That's why Reapers with a crate is disgusting.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
All right, so next one here, we got Benthic 2 tubes and the U-Wing loaded out with Perceptive Copilot Generso, Contraband Cybernetics, Cassian Andor with Elusive Fire Control and Perceptive Copilot, Mago Yara with Perceptive and K2SO, and Saul Guerrera with Perceptive Copilot Leia, Contraband Cybernetics. This list can essentially, if you get this right, every single one of these ships can do the focus evade on their turn, and they have all the mods that they need. Benthic 2 tubes can be that flex piece to just retain that double focus, and then depending on the engagement, can pass off one of those focuses over to another ship and change it into an evade with Generso. And then you have Leia Organa, which basically enables all these U-Wings to stop and be able to still take all those tokens there. And then K2SO to help give even more tokens to this list. This is a very, very chunky list that can do a lot of damage. They're shooting 3 dice, and if they don't have to rotate, they're going to have the same evasiveness as an X-Wing. With all the evade tokens that they need, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think this list does very well at assault. I think this list can pick up crates. I think this list can pick up crates. This list can do really good at assault. This list is decent at doing scramble. You're probably not doing all of them, but you only get 3 scramble objectives anyway. It's very tanky. This list is insanely tanky. And it likes to deny rerolls, and I don't know. Like, to me, if I owned 4 of these, this would definitely be a list I would put as a contender. All right, I wouldn't because I don't run Rebels. But if I were a different person that didn't run Rebels and own 4 of these, this is because this is a decent play style to what I would run. So, I don't know. I really, really like this list a lot.
Yeah.
I do.
Where'd you see this list?
This was like this list has made, I don't know. I don't remember which tournament I pulled it out. I pulled it out of like 2 different tournaments. Had this type of list.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it on GSP before. But yeah, it's something that's kind of flown under the radar for Rebels. It's a good list.
Yeah, because I've seen other like 4U lists. Obviously, I just haven't seen this particular one. I like this one. I like Focus of Aids. Seems really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So this was Tanner's twist, right? So because I like Perceptive Co-Pilot. So it's just it's
Your
my
pilot's perceptive.
I do. It reminds me of like Arkham sometimes, you know. So it's just kind of like when you're playing Mansions of Madness or you're playing some Arkham Horror and you got to be perceptive. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there was a very similar version of this list that had made some cut somewhere. I think it was overseas, but this is more of my play style if I were to run this. All right, shall we move on to the faction we'll probably see the most?
Yes. I actually believe that CIS will probably have the biggest appearance. That's my prediction. But
stop it! Don't say those things because I would like to get prizes for top CIS player.
So we got a Empire list here. We got Darth Vader Battle Yavin version with Backstabber and Mauler, also the Battle Yavin version. Moff Gideon with Elusive, over to Modulators and Cloaking Device, and then Vizier with Emperor Palpatine on this. I don't know who runs that Seven Sister Captain Hard combo. It's just not good. Gosh.
I don't know. According to Crispy, if you were, I don't know if Crispy tunes in tonight. I mean, Crispy can join it. I will add him into the stream just to berate. He was all over your ass on Nickel City the other day.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, it's very, very strong list here. Backstabber and Mauler are basically tied together as a pair, just buffing each other's offense. They can roll 3 attack dice as long as they're in each other's side arc or in Vader's side arc. Moff Gideon being able to go in and give out strain while contesting objectives and being cloaked is always really good. And then Vizier just being able to enable all those tokens and jam the opponents as needed, either with Seven Sister or through its actions, and just be able to stay in the mix with all these ships. It is a very good list. It is a very fast list, as pretty much everybody except Moff Gideon has afterburners essentially, and is able to get into the fight really, really quick. It is a tough list to take down, but it's really good.
Yeah, so your version of this does not have Backstabber, but has Juno in it.
Yeah, Juno Eclipse and Iden instead of Moff Gideon.
Yep. And I do actually agree with the Moff Gideon a little bit more. The longer I've seen it on the table, the more I feel it, especially like in your type of list that has less ties, it feels like it might be more beneficial. But
it feels a different role. Moff Gideon, I feel it is supposed to be the more offensive piece, or at least a little more status effect piece in this list, giving out the strains to a friendly in order to like the 9 mods whenever performances attack. As far as scramble goes, as soon as it takes not scramble, salvage. As far as salvage goes, as soon as it takes a crate, it can't cloak or loses its cloak token. So it kind of loses its effectiveness there. And in my particular list, I like Iden because she can be a dedicated objective carrier or grabber, and can at least survive around a shooting, whereas Moff Gideon can die in a blank out much faster than Iden can. Iden is more of a nuisance than Gideon in that specific role. So.
All right. And what are the lists good at?
Definitely assault, definitely chance engagement. If you put in a significant amount of effort in trying to take down the ties, you're only getting 2 points back, or 1 in the case of Gideon and Mauler. It just requires a lot of effort to try to take down those pieces. Vader, of course, you can try to take him down. He can get burned down easy if you're able to get multiple arcs on him. But at the same time, Vader is going to punish you hard if you don't take him down. And then the rest of the list is also powered up enough to take it down. As far as Scramble, Vizier is there to help provide everybody with the tokens that they need, and then Scramble at a higher initiative. So I think this is more of a well-rounded list. It probably just suffers in salvage. I mean, your dedicated carries are probably going to be Gideon and Vizier, and that's probably it. So.
All right. Alex?
Man, I just want to say Moff Gideon is disgusting. Like, if you playing a lot of Republic, do you know what is not fun? Not being able to model your defense dice. You
Yeah.
brought all these SOC people to passive aids. They can't do that. Can't spend the force. Can't use dedicated. You got a bunch of low health, high agility ships that if they don't get all paint, they're dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moff Gideon is a nuisance. But anyways, on to the next list.
Yeah. What's the next one, Alex?
I'll do the Ubel one. That's running around. So it says Boy Vader, Boy Backstabber, Boy Mauler, Ubel with Ruthless, Synced Cannons, Tiber, Saxton, Baffle, and the targeting assist config, and then a TIE Fighter, either like an Academy or the I3 Onyx one.
Black Swan.
Yeah, that one. No one flies the Onyx one.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, that list, it looks like that would do a lot of damage there. I mean, Ubel just bonus attacking, straining people as long as they're not critted, and then you get that Backstabber and Mauler shoot. Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very strong list. Tiber Saxon is that secret tech there, just being able to get strain on ships that it doesn't hit, especially shielded ships. It can really ruin your day if it rolls really, really well. The way I've seen this is that it tends to get paired at the back end behind Backstabber and Mauler, and then Vader and the Academy pilot are kind of like the flankers. Academy pilot just focusing on objectives, and Vader just being that flanker. It's if you do decide to try to take out Ubel, you got Backstabber and Mauler to punish you. If you go after Vader, you got the other three coming in behind you, punching in shots. So it makes you make decisions. So it's a good list, definitely.
Have you seen anyone run like Vader next to Ubel? Because
No.
if I was having both Vader and Ubel coming at me, I don't know which one I would shoot. Like, I'm not sure which one's the correct choice there.
Ubel.
I've seen, because of the way that they have to set up the turn zero setup, it's very difficult for Ubel to be in a position to take shots while Vader's there. And Vader doesn't want to get boxed in, especially if it's like a tight knit like asteroid deployment. So it's very dependent on how they set up the obstacles. If it's wide open, then Ubel and Vader can easily fly next to each other. Other than that, if it's very like tight knit and closed where they have to separate, Vader 9 times out of 10 is going to be the flanking ship, while they have the Ubel go behind Mauler and Backstabber.
I was just like thinking, if you just flew them all on like a jousting block, I still don't know which person I would shoot at.
Yeah.
All right. The last Empire list that I had here is from Ollie. This is something Ollie has been running quite a bit. Obviously, it's Boy Vader. Then it's Soontir with Shield Upgrade, Predator, and Crackshot. Major Famil with Ion Override Limiter, Captain Hark, Seven Sister, and a targeting computer. And then Gideon with Overtune. Everybody likes Overtune and cloaking device on Gideon, it seems. And Elusive. Now, normally you would not think this is a list that you would see. right? Like I don't think you would see this list, but I've heard it's been popping up quite a bit outside of just the Ollie circle. Um
Yeah.
and that's when it gets a little bit more scary. I don't know if I could run this list. It feels very fragile to me.
Yeah, this is definitely an Aces style list here. And oddly enough, Vermeil is not a support piece in this particular list here. Um, my only critique on this is Soontir fell. I do understand Crackshot is very good for pushing in damage, but I actually would argue for putting in enduring on Soontir fell. And the reason why it's not for the red focus part, it's mainly because you can cancel critical results first with enduring, and the red focus is the bonus if you need to. 9 times out of 10, you need Soontir to take that evade and just go for that bullseye, so he can get that extra focus token. It just the times that Soontir tends to blank out and he runs out of that shield upgrade, being able to cancel those critical results first with enduring is very big for Centir to help him remain alive, especially if you're in a situation where the enemy decides to concentrate their firepower on taking down Centir and ignoring the rest of the list. But beyond that, Vermeil is very unpredictable. Being able to do a full stop, use Iron Limiter Override to do a barrel roll, and then get a focus off of Captain Hark is incredible. It is so good. Or he can do the ailerons boost, then do a sloop, and then do the barrel roll with Iron Limiter Override, and then get a focus token. I mean, Vermeil is really tough to predict where he's going to go. And then Moff Gideon is there to just deny your tokens, basically, or deny your mods. So it is a very good ace list, and it probably suffers a bit on objectives, specifically like assault and salvage. I would imagine just because of the lower ship count. And Soontir does not want to be predictable. So beyond that, this list can definitely eliminate ships at I6. It's very good.
All right.
This is like the most just balls to the wall, all gas list I've seen in an Empire list in a long time.
Yeah,
That just hits so hard, and you're not going to have tokens after Vader and Soontir shoot you. So, Vermeil is going to get all this like offense and all that, and Moff Gideon, ooh.
All right. The next list that we have here is a scum list, a 5-ship scum list. Who wants it?
I'll take
What
it.
do you mean
So,
5 ships and scum?
yeah.
I know.
Actually,
that's
this
a
is
first.
this is an archetype that I've actually been seeing more and more often pop up with Scum. The main difference I see here is that people will switch out Q9 for like Dr. Afra, for instance. But everything else pretty much remains the same on this. So we got Gamut Key and the Hawk with Protector Club and Deadman Switch, Manaru with Notorious, Garth Saxon, over 2 modulators and the title. Q9 with the Child and Mandalorian crew, BT1 Gunner, Contraband Cybernetics, and Deadman Switch, and then Leighton Ashera with Composure, Ion Cannon, and Ahav with March Stable Closure, Overtune Modulators, and Cloaking Device to finish off that list here. Essentially, Ahav can be your objective monkey, just going out and grabbing objectives and then turning in on the medium and large bases to get its ability. Getting off March Stable Closure is a bonus if it's able to get that strain out. But the secret on it is that if he actually manages to get March Stable Closure off, especially on a ship that Manaru has an arc, Manaru gets that automatic reroll if he needs to, assuming that they decide to ignore him to not get Notorious. Um, you can also use Leighton Ashera's Ion Cannon to give an enemy ship an Ion Cannon token to use Garth Saxon on Manaru to bump up the attack to a 4-die attack at range. So there's a lot of like hidden tech on there. Q9 being able to use the Child and the Mandalorian for the reinforce and have passive mods with the Child force, as well as calculate tokens from its ability whenever you need it, is really good. And with the Razor Crest, you can add on false transponder codes or over 2 modulators as needed when you need it. And this list can be very very, very good. Gambit Key just being that coordinator and also being that objective grabber as well if you need it.
Yeah, to me, this list does very well in assault and crates. Like,
Yeah.
I could see this being a big crate one.
So, just a correction: you can add another illicit on there with the title. You
Yeah.
have to have one slot open.
Yep.
In order to take another one.
True.
Yeah. So you could take off Dead Man.
So in that case,
and like
you
maybe
probably
BT1
drop...
and put on like ablative.
Yeah.
Or something. Or tractor beam, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Definitely.
But I like the list. It's fun. I mean, I love Scum. I don't feel like flying Boba Fett, so I generally would fly something closer to this.
This is what you're running for Worlds, Alex. This is Alex's Worlds list, folks.
They should just make Captain Seaworth 3 points again. That'd be great. Just let me fly him again. It'd be fun.
Oh my God,
Everyone
loves
loves
him in every list. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah.
He has a cannon slot now. You can do dirty things with him.
Maybe in
great.
the Siege of Mandalore, during the Siege of Mandalore, maybe we'll get a Siege of Mandalore, version of him that's like 2 points.
No, you will not.
I'll just make him 3 points. You don't even need to give him loadout. I'm fine with that. Whatever. Give him 1 point talent loadout. Give him Mark Sable. Really, really piss people off.
I'm just expecting a 6 point Finrao standard loadout. Yeah, all right. Anyway, let's go. So next one.
All right. Next one is Boba, Rook, Kanan. So Kanan and Maul. Rook with the Child, Notorious, Contraband, Mando, Drop Seat, and Swivel Wing. Boba with Fearless, Contra, Protons, Marauder, VTG, and Ahsoka. And if you ask JJ, I never seem to ever remember Marauder. So you at least bitched about that like 3 times on the cast.
Yeah.
So this list is like good in assault, and I feel this list is really, really good at scramble, because everything has force. So like, the only thing it suffers in scramble is I3s, but it's basically saying I'm gonna have mods. You will not get mods. I'm gonna scramble the transmission, and then you can take it back from me if you want, but I'm gonna sit here and try to murder you. And it's a very, weirdly enough, it's a very defensive list. If only I had a few more points, we could put Gammon in there too, but we can't. So
yeah,
let my Ruck have a few more points, baby. I'll put Gammon in there.
Yikes!
I'll have a extra reinforced though.
It's gross. Golly.
So we've seen this list for quite a while. So let's move on to Resistance
special.
What?
The Cam Murray special.
That's the Cam Murray special.
I don't know. Tonight I was told Cam Murray didn't create it, so I should stop saying that. So I don't know. That's the only person I knew that flew it before, but
yeah, me too. I mean, he made it famous for his GSP win with it, so that's why.
Yeah, I was about to say he won. It's his list. Who cares who made it? It's his.
I'm just saying. I was given some shit tonight because I said that, but I agree. That's the only person I knew who ran that. We were running Boba Eamon and Boba Kashka.
Kashka, yeah, exactly.
That's what we were running in Scum, which is also really good too. I don't think you'll see as much of it though. I think people are favoring that Rook over Eamon.
Over Eamon.
Yeah, if Eamon had a little bit more loadout, I think we'd see more of them. But
yeah, exactly. So next up here is Resistance. We got the White T20.
Oh, let me do this list. I'm doing something similar to this for Worlds.
Do it.
Oh, Falcon Poe, you dirty bastard. Falcon Poe, Notorious, Novice Tech, Ray, False Transponder Codes, Engine Upgrade, the title, Lulo, Predator, Heroic Shield Upgrade, Kaz. This is the wrong loadout for Kaz because you have N9G8 and False Transponder Codes. You're just going to jam your buddy. Whoopsies. That should be like contraband or something. So like heroic M9G8, targeting computer, advanced slam, contraband, BBA with Han Solo, targeting computer, Finn, elusive, heroic, perceptive. It's really good. I like Falcon Poe a lot. He's really dirty. You can do a lot of dirty things with him. I did finally use the red barrel roll action while playing with him, and then did a white boost after that because I can do what I want. Large based I6 double reposition, baby.
It's gross.
I like Lulo for 4 points. Lulo hits really hard. I personally don't like flying a fireball, so I don't take Kaz. But Kaz is really, really good.
What do you put Zay in there?
Yeah, I usually do Zay. M9G8, I think it's very, very good. Especially with a lot of the double tappers in the meta right now, like Ubel. You can modify their first shot and their second shot. It's really nice. And then BB8 is 2 points. And Finn does Finn things. It's I think a pretty well-rounded list. You just can't really joust with it. That's its only problem.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I got a weird question. Is there a reason why BB-8 loves Han Solo? Like, I get you get multiple evades, but you're going nowhere. It is the most you cannot turn around. You're just screwed everywhere you go, and you can't use BB-8's ability.
So it really depends on the scenario, right? Because like let's say for instance that you got BB-8 with a crate, right? And now he can't turn around. He can only go forward, right? He can't use his ability anyway. And yeah, as soon as he scores 2 rounds with that crate, he's already paid for his cost and those points. So having Han Solo allows him to now become a blocker and get the evades he needs in case he's shot at, right, with the crate. The other part of it too is that you can just completely ignore Han and just use BB-8 as a jamming tool to go in and just start jamming off like target locks or tokens on enemy ships that that you need to, and then set up blocks as well with it. It is a red action anyway, so it's going to be similar to like Han. It's just a different tool in the utility box that BB-8 has. So while it's nice to have his ability when you can use it, Han is there for when you absolutely need to keep him alive, with like salvage, for instance. Other than that, also great out of assault as well, just getting into the center and just try to contest an objective.
All right.
And he's very good for like, what are you gonna do? Shoot a BB-8 that has 2 evade tokens, or are you gonna shoot someone else? And like, killing BB-8's not the biggest of deals, but it does help him survive a lot longer. I've stacked 3 evade tokens on him in a very risky move. But he lived. That's the important part. He's not there for the offense.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he does end up killing everything. It's weird.
All right. The next one, JJ.
So this one here, we got a 6 ship list here. We got Lulo with Predator Heroic Shield Upgrade, Cass Notorious R1J5 False Transponder, and targeting computer, BB-8 with Han and targeting, Finn, elusive heroic perceptive co-pilot, Zay Versio with marksman heroic R68, and then Jarek Yeager with heroic map pulse false transponder. Oddly enough, he doesn't have a targeting computer on that one, so I don't know how he's gonna get that off. But yeah, really solid list. Yeah. Really good like swarm list. This actually reminds me of your Adepticon list, Chris, from last year for Republic. Is like just getting in as many bodies as possible, and they can do greater things than the sum of its parts, right? You have really great objective carriers. You got heavy hitters with Kaz and Lulo, as well as Zay and that T70 being able to roll those 3 dice with all those mounts that they have. And Finn is that sleeper, that annoying piece in the list that can just wipe something out or just survive incredibly longer than it should. And yeah, you got a lot of utility in this list.
Yeah, I think with this list, so yeah, I don't know where I got this one from. But do you just run not heroic on Jaeger? Is that what you just do? You just run
Yeah, I've seen marksmanship,
marksmanship and
targeting computer.
Yeah.
I played one that was similar to that, and that was a pain.
Yeah, at I5, it's definitely a pain to
do you even
to
need
deal with the
FTC?
I5.
On the initial
It
engagement,
helps.
it's okay, but you already are jamming them.
Yeah, so the question
Yeah.
becomes is, I wonder if you would just drop FTC, like you could drop down to Dead Man Switch, or you could move FTC to something completely different, you know?
I mean, Contraband would make a lot of sense too, given his ability and all that.
All right. Yeah, and maybe Contraband. Yeah, I can see Contraband.
Or Coaxium Hyperfuel with
Nope.
Iron Slam.
Okay. Yep. Nobody does that, but cool.
I tell you, I can tell anyone whatever I want for Coaxium Hyperfuel, and they'll believe me.
They would.
Yeah,
You know,
they-
yeah, I'd be that dick that goes, no, you're gonna pull it up on your phone, and then your internet doesn't work, and we're just standing there for 10 minutes waiting for the damn thing to load.
Yeah, Coaxium Hyperfuel gives me 2 extra attack dice on one shot in the game. No one will be like, oh damn, that sucks.
And
okay.
you spend your opponent's charges too on one of the ordnance.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you get to take over their ordinance. That's what it is.
1.0 Boba Crew. It's fine. I just jettison off an upgrade on your ship.
And if you're
No one
shooting
will
against Grievous, he has to spend his Imperium plating charges for you to perform the attack. So, yeah, easy.
I just discard one non-reoccurring charge on one of your ship upgrades. It's fine.
Oh, that's so good. We should make our own coaxium fuel cards and like give them out to people and make them look official with just like crazy bullshit on them.
Oh, I would love for you to do that at like a local tournament and write completely different things for each card that you give out. No one has the same copy of the card.
All right,
No
all
one
right,
will
Jay, we're doing it. JJ, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're gonna get them professionally printed. Fuck it. I don't care if it costs me
That's great.
$50. It'll come out of my taxes this year.
That's great, dude. That's awesome.
We got to print enough of them too that we can just give them out at every tournament. Just, it's so dirty. All right, let's move on. That's enough jibber jabber.
So next up
From one
here,
hyper-efficient-
we got the. What's that?
I was gonna say from one hyper efficient 6 ship list to another hyper efficient 6 ship list.
Yes, absolutely. We got the return of the FO swarm here. So we got Commander Valorous with Mag Pulse missiles, Lieutenant Gaelic with Proud Tradition, Biohack script codes, and Tractor Beam. DT798 with shield upgrade, and Scorch also with shield upgrade, Ember with elusive pattern analyzer, and Captain Phasma with Proud Tradition, fire control system, pattern analyzer, and special forces gunner. This is a pain to go down. This list will either do really, really well and knock you out, or it will die fast if it blanks out on dice. Like it did on Saturday. But yeah, this is a really good list here. There's other variants of this list, switching out Phasma and Ember for like TIE Whispers. But nonetheless, this list can cover a lot of the board, and Lieutenant Gaelic being able to use biohack script codes to when it triggers his ability to coordinate a ship that's at range 3 can just really help turn the tide of the battle in favor for the First Order if it has another friendly ship that dies. So it's just really efficient at covering the board a lot. You have these TIE fighters that don't care for reposition as much, so they can grab crates if they need to, or they can just go and contest objectives, and they have plenty to use. So it's good.
So does Gaelic work? So if you kill Gaelic, does he trigger right away?
No, he does not. That's after another ship.
Damn it, Corey. Oh my God, I lost Django to that tonight.
Let me make sure before.
Okay.
Why are you listening? We've already learned this.
Let me make sure.
Well, I don't know. I just
Positive
trusted
this.
Corey because I don't know. He read it and I wasn't really
Yeah.
paying a lot of attention.
It says
says
after another friendly
It's
ship.
not-
Yep. Mhm.
Oh,
yeah,
because
she doesn't
Django,
trigger on herself.
my Django one-shotted Gaelic at range 1. It was disgusting. It was
Oh,
really
man.
bad. It was really bad. Well, so Gaelic did
Wow.
a sloop, and I did not expect it. Right? Like, I didn't expect a sloop, and it didn't have a token. And here's Django at range 1, and Django's like, oh, I'll just take a target lock. Fuck it. And, basically I was able to roll into, hit, crit. And Gaelic rolled like a blank and 2 eyeballs and had no focus. And I was like, oh, sorry. Because I don't, in fairness, he definitely did not expect me to one bang Django. But I was just like, I didn't know what else to do because Django had taken a whole bunch of damage. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to bank and bump. And then at least that takes one of those shots at range 0, and it seemed like a better maneuver to me. But yeah, then Gaelic coordinated his TIE SF, who then backdraft, who rotated, was also at range 1 of Django, and then got to shoot Django, double tap into Django. So then Django returned fire and shot into his SF, brought his FF below health, and then Dirge shot into backdraft as well, but didn't quite kill him. And so then backdraft got the fucking shot off, and it was a whole mess. I lost Django and
yeah,
Grievous.
More of the story. Read your cards, people.
Or cheat when you can get away with it.
No. In fairness, Corey doesn't want to cheat. He's helping us practice for Worlds.
Yeah.
So
You're like, look, it says right here, I win. Come on.
Yeah, right here on coaxium hyperfuel on Gaelic, it says I can do this.
Yeah, it's worth 20. It's worth your ship goes from whatever its point costs to 19. So it's the only ship in the game. But if you kill a ship, you automatically win the game. There you go. That's the verbiage for it.
But
All right.
This FO list is so good. That tractor beam on Gaelic is very, very strong. I think it's underrated. Just the pull a ship into range for other ships, or just the tractor them. So you got, three die attacks, 4 if you have like Phasma also around there. I mean, like it's a lot. It's a lot of damage, and they're all Phasma's 2 agility, but the rest are 3 agility, and Phasma spreads damage around, so it's not ideal to shoot anyways.
Yeah, and you could
ideally. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you could sub Phasma if you don't like Phasma. You could sub Phasma out for any other ship, right? Like any other 4-point ship that you want. You could put a bomber in if you really want to. I still think Shafe is good, and people, if for FO, I still think Shafe is good. You could put backdraft in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and to kind of go along with the tractor, right? It's like it almost works like a jamming being effect too, right? Because if you have the token to spend to avoid getting tractor, you're going to spend it. Yeah. Right, that's going to put you in a spot where you're going to get tractored, and if you happen to get put in a position where you might end up going over a rock, guess what? You're going to get stressed, so you can rotate. So you've essentially potentially wiped out a token, you've reduced your agility, and you've also gotten that ship stressed. So that way, it's not in a good spot for the following round. So it's a triple threat, honestly. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get damage off of the tractor beam, but you can set yourself up to have a really, really big shot with your other ships on it. So it's very underrated, but it's very good.
Yeah, and a lot of like the 3 agility. There's a lot of 3 agility ships going around right now, and then just clip one with a tractor and reduce it to 2 agility. That is just tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you're Vader, you're just like, I don't want this.
Yep,
any of them.
Exactly.
Leave me alone. All right, the next FO list that I had, is this one's a little bit different. I think this is actually one of Kess's lists. And it's got Malorus, Clusters, DT-798 with Advanced Optics, Fanatical, Electronic Baffle, Scorch with Fanatical, Proud Tradition, Advanced Optics, Hask in the shuttle with Proud Tradition, Hondo, Terex, Fanatical, and Silencer Kylo with Malice and Proton Torpedo. So maybe this is not Kess's list. I don't know whose list this is either. I don't know. I did this really late Saturday night while I was watching a movie with my kid. So I don't know whose list this is, but I got this from somewhere.
It's definitely an archetype that First Order has, just having the four ships and a shuttle. The shuttle in this case, Gideon has been able to coordinate with Hondo Naka at range 3, and then also having Agent Terex passing out a calculate as well, makes all these ships have the potential to be very, very token heavy. All they have to do basically turn 1 is just set up the target locks on an obstacle early on, so that way that enables Hondo to jam whoever they need to, and then after that, Gideon can continue to jam other ships and coordinate stress ships on the opponent's side, or just keep on backing you up with that coordinate as well as that token from Agent Terex. On the other side, going next to him rather, is Kylo Ren and the Silencer. He is the much more attack heavy version with Malice and Proton Torpedoes. You're more than likely going to get 2 to 3 crits with that Proton Torpedo shot, and it's really good. And then DT and Scorch equipped with the more offensive version, it helps them more reliably push out 2 to 3 hits consistently with their Fanatical Proud Tradition triggers and advanced optics on Scorch. It is a lot of offense that's coming at you, so it's really good.
Yeah, and this list is really a big offensive list. It does very well with scramble. It does very well with assault, and it definitely can murder things in chance.
Yeah.
I wonder why it's cluster missiles. If you have mag pulse and then you shoot at him with Kylo with Malice and Proton Torpedoes, that sounds more terrifying than getting more shots off. But that'd just be me.
That's probably shoot. I don't like mag pulse on.
Yeah, but you're getting jammed
Malorus.
and then you're getting a
Sure. Okay.
Proton Torpedo. Ooh. I don't know why you hate mag pulse missiles. What's wrong with you? They're great.
I don't hate mag pulse missiles. I don't like them on Malorus. That is all.
Yeah, I mean, you have the potential, right? Just for that spike damage with Malorus. That's it.
Yeah. And in this list, the problem I have with it, to some extent, is in this list, you don't have as much punch as you do in other lists. So
but you have Hask, who can give Malorus 3 dice anyways. So, why not have the mag pulse?
Sorry, I disagree. I don't like it, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but to me, it feels that Malor. I mean, it just feels you're not getting the 3 dice all the time with Malorus. I don't see that trigger very often.
Yeah, I think that Hask would do it on himself more often than the other ships.
To me, it's a consistency thing, right? Like, to me, this is a spike damage, and then the damage, it goes here, and then it kind of dips.
For me, I think I would use Malorus more to help with the blanks and help with those rerolls. But yeah, it just depends on what you want to do. Everything it's solely at the discretion of the player that's flying it and the strategy that they use to really get the best advantage out of those mounts. So.
And somebody made cut, Alex. I don't know who the fuck made cut with that list, but somebody did, because I have it on my thing.
I mean, good for them. I'm not going to bring up other lists that won that were suboptimal, possibly.
We're going to have one. We're bringing one of them up tonight. So I added it just because I could. All right. Why don't, Alex, since you love Republic so much, why don't you break down this list for us?
Yes. I believe it was Tyler Tippett's been running this a lot. It's 7B Anakin, Extreme Maneuvers Predator, R2D2. SOC Obi-Wan, SOC Kickback, SOC Click, and Contrail with Crack Shot, R7A7, Proton Bombs, and Delayed Fuses. It's a tough list to crack.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if they just got to be range 2 of each other, and you can pass along focuses and evades. Click denies
Yeah,
on the
4 point-
bonuses for range.
A 4-point OB just seems ludicrous to me. But yeah, here we are.
Yeah, and his ability triggers with Anakin. So if Anakin wants to, he could spend Obi-Wan's force point to boost. Just in case, extreme maneuvers might make him a little force starved, but you do have that option with Obi-Wan. And then if Obi-Wan gets low, you have patience on him. Like, you don't need to hit with Obi-Wan. He's not there for offense. But this is punchy, but also still really annoyingly defensive.
Yeah, I think that the key here is who do you shoot, and like you have to be able to focus down something, and you have 3 ships that are worth nothing. Yeah,
The hard part is that you're kind of forced to just shoot at whatever they decide that you're going to shoot at. That's your best option. Like, they're all going to be modded with focuses and evades. And then Anakin has regen and he can run away, and Obi-Wan, he can ignore
and extreme
damage.
maneuvers, and like he can just get in your face.
And that R4P17, like, it's a solid droid. You can just eat a bomb and just not take it. You just take a strength instead of the damage. It's pretty useful. Just hit a rock or whatever,
Yep. Yep, that's very true. The next one that we have here is the kind of the standard one. There's a little bit of variance to this, but this is Hawk with dedicated, agile gunner, 7 fleet, OB, elusive, CLT, shield, contrail, crack, R7, A7, delayed, Besh, protons, and Anakin 7B with crack shot, R4, 7P, and shield upgrade. This is the defensive version, but this is what won Sith Taker Open a couple weeks ago. I think if you're flying Republic, I think one of the big things is you really need an Anakin in your list. And again, this is the defensive Anakin to some extent, right? You can run and out maneuvers Anakin if you would like. Both are very valid. Both are all very valid. Anakins to run, but this list doesn't have the token sharing, but this list has high offensive output, and then the extra shield upgrades, help them live. Unless you're Alex, and your OB always gets shot and killed in one round every time. So
that'd be why you bring the shield upgrade instead of R2D2, where you get 2 shield upgrades and can destroy bombs and stuff. But no, you can just get 1 shot instead. It's fine.
Yep.
I bet his Obi-Wan did not get 1 shot.
I bet his Obi-Wan did not with elusive and shield upgrade, baby. But this list is a very nasty list. Like, this is a very AC style list too. This list is not like this huge big objective style list. If you go in on Hawk, you got 2 other ships that'll converge and just try to murder you. You probably are not taking Hawk down in 1 round. If you get Hawk down in 2 rounds, you're doing good. But like,
person flying Hawk messed up if you kill
exactly
Hawk in 2 rounds.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're doing really good if you get Hawk down in 2 rounds. So like, that's the problem, is you have to pick where you want. If you don't go after Hawk, Hawk's just enhancing every other one of these ships. It's just saying, here, sit at range 3 and have 4 effing dice.
Yeah, you're kind of forced to go after Hawk in this list because you're not going to be able to like chase down Anakin or Obi-Wan, and like they're probably not like jousting you with contrail. So you're kind of forced to go after Hawk, but you're getting punished hard for that. Like, Anakin, on the initial engagement, he can roll 4 dice as long as you have 7 fleet active. It can be range 3, you just roll 4 dice anyway. It's still a proton torpedo, which is terrifying. And then the 5 die, range 1 CLT, 7 fleet will get over everything, including Finn. That's how I kill a lot of Finns. You just roll 5 dice at them. They can't really do too much.
Yeah, Finn only gets 2 green dice, possibly 3 if Finn's lucky. Thank God that list doesn't have a way to deny you. Like, at least you can't fit click in that list too. Could you? All right, we're gonna stop talking. All right, JJ, what's the last Republic list that we have? And this is the one I do not like to fly against. Not because it does any damage, but because it never wants to fucking die.
It's a
ever.
lot.
So this is the Separatist Alliance version of the Republic. We got Contrail, Click, Kickback, Jag, and Wolf, all Siege of Coruscant versions, and then Stub with Shield upgrade. The efficiency of the Born for this chassis ability on those Siege of Coruscants is cannot be understated. How good it is to just constantly pass around tokens on defense. To help keep your ships alive. If your ships can stay alive, you got Wolf and Click and Jag, just passing, keeping the others alive and getting mods with target locks for free. It is just a real pain to try to take this list down, dismantle it, because they can stay alive a lot longer than they should. Really good at also covering objectives and contesting objectives with their numbers, and you're definitely going to have a hard time taking this list down.
Yeah, I feel this list does decent at every scenario. How about that?
Yeah,
and maybe this is after Worlds we talk about this style of list, because and again, your stub could be whatever. Like, stub could change and be something different if you really want. You could put, like, Tarkin in there.
Yeah, Tarkin. Oh my gosh, Tarkin, yeah.
Like, and now you're passing locks around, and, like, there's a lot of different options for this. You could build your own contrail and Click. It makes it a little bit less effective to some extent, but at the opposite side, it's not really, because that Born for this, once it's on one of those ships, is like, Merry Christmas, like, I call it the Christmas list. That's what I call it. Or maybe we should call it the Oprah list. Everybody gets something.
Yeah.
I still like having dedicated on Contrail.
I don't disagree with you.
That's my
Actually,
only thing.
Alex, I'm not actually in any disagreement. I just, again, like I said, that's the list that I found online. I agree. The build your own probably is a little bit better, to be honest with you, because you could put dedicated and proton bombs and all sorts of weird things.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that you get precise astromech, so you can lock after doing like an objective action, which is nice. I mean, you get ion bombs, which are underrated, and Contrail does get the evades and the focus sharing. I just like having things for blank results, like dedicated.
True.
Or you can run like another Z95. You can put a shield upgrade on that and have dedicated if you choose like Warthog. It's not as defense or offense as Stub, but
yeah. All right, we're getting down to the last few lists here. So for CIS, we have Jango, Dirge, Grievous, and 404. Grievous, we don't have to go over. Dirge, Ion Cannon, Heavy Laser Cannon, Xanadu Blood. Jango with Notorious, Savage, Seismics, Contraband, Overtune, VTG, and Slave 1. I will say that there is some contesting discussion about whether Notorious is worth it on Jango or not. So I've had people tell me if Jango is Notorious on him, he doesn't shoot. I will tell you, I've been running a version of proton bombs, and that Overtune modulators is a mistake. That's my mistake. It should be
false transponder codes.
False transponder codes. There's no way you would run Overtune on Jango. I don't know. Maybe you would. I would not run Overtune on Jango. But there is discussions about Notorious. I have actually swapped Notorious out for protons and ablative plating. I've been playing around with that, where you can drop the bomb and not have to go away. You can 4K through a rock and feel good about it. Lots of different things. Same with Dirge. I'm not sold on the Ion Cannon Heavy Laser Cannon version, but Ion Control is great. So I don't know. This list has a hard time in crates. Like, I will just tell you right now, this list does not like crates very well. You know who picks up a crate? 404. and then tries to run
about it.
away and just doesn't want you. It hopes to God you don't shoot him.
But now you can't link that lock off that barrel roll.
I know you can get a damn lock you want if you want. You can still take your lock. You don't shoot with 404. You just stay away. That's what you do. You run.
All right, and then coming up for the next list that we got here, we got Dirge with proton cannons, false transponder codes, the title, and seismic charges. 3 bombardment drones for proximity mines, and then Dooku with hate, proton torpedoes, General Grievous, proton bombs, and the scimitar title. This is the one list that we saw that actually won by
Stumbo.
cloaking. It just completely cloaked for like the majority of the game. Ended up winning, but it definitely has a lot of different options on there. I'd love to see Count Dooku come back in the Infiltrator and just still do some work, and this one definitely does. So
Yeah, and I don't think this list is bad. I think this list is different. I do not like the Dirge build on this. I'll be honest with you. That's not. I would, if I wanted the bombs, I would get rid of seismics and put proton bombs and elusive, or I don't know, something else. None of these are the builds I would run for. I wouldn't run FTC either. I'd run Contraband. But
yeah,
I think the reason I put this list up is because I think it's something that you have to take seriously. People saw that win LVO very recently, and it's going to be in people's minds. And I think this list is a very hard list to fly, per se. You just, in terms of, it's not a standard type list that you're going to fly against. So, the goal is you cloak and do your things, and then either you murder the bombardment drones and get 9 points, or you go after the other things. So
It's so hard not to just drop that down to SOC Dooku and then bump Dirge up to Grievous, but I didn't win LVO with this list, so
yeah, you could do that too. I've never played either version of that. So, and you could also get rid of bombardments and put 404 in there. There's lots of things you can do. But the next one, we're gonna only briefly touch on it. I don't think you're gonna see this, but this is a Paul Heaver list with Dirge, standard Dirge loadout, your SOC Count Dooku, standard loadout Grievous, and then that T-81 Tri-Fighter. And the reason I throw this in here is because if you have not played against that T-185 Tri-Fighter, you should have somebody run that against you at least a couple times, because with the outmaneuver, afterburners, and reroll droid, you have to take it seriously enough to try to kill it. But I could tell you, I have rolled 5 green dice and picked them all up and re-rolled 5 effing green dice to get my evades and just taking all the strain.
I was about to say, how well did he do when I played you when you had him?
Okay, well, I fed him to Poe, so
he showed up and then he died immediately.
Sure,
good times.
Yes, but we're gonna count that on the error, the user in error on that one.
Yeah, that's an extreme variance thing, anyways.
That's
funny.
That was a Tanner not knowing how to fly that ship. So
straight at Poe, it's fine.
Yeah, you want to know how many times I lost him when we played in Detroit? 0. Didn't lose that ship at all. Or maybe the last shot. Yeah, I flew a different list.
Did Mark Robert take out that ship? I don't remember.
No, that's the ship that almost killed Vader.
Damn it, Mark! You had one job.
Yeah, well, and we can actually talk about that Mark game later, but we're not going to do that tonight. There was a mistake made that I missed, and my Grievous shouldn't have died that quick. But
all right, and then the last list here we got is I believe Isofane flew this year, right? This is the double Belbalob list here. So we got General Grievous, standard loadout with Captain Sear with K2B4 shield upgrade and improving plating, and then we have DFS 081 Iron Assembler and 3 Separatist drones. Those 3 have Discord missiles, DFS, and Iron Assembler with energy shell charges. Really great list. This can, along with Captain Sear, can actually punch out damage pretty well if you're able to line up the bullseye, and K2B4 just makes the The droid's much more efficient. It is really good. I like this list a lot.
Yeah, this list is a lot of fun to run. I will tell you, this list loses its legs once you start murdering some of the droids or seer, but this list does really well. You can also swap out those drones for the holocron droids if you would rather, and make them I1s. That way you have all I1s, Captain Seer and Grievous. Both are very viable, in my opinion. Holocron droids, again, are just there to go before Seer. So,
yep,
but
absolutely.
I think, again, this list, like, your goal is can you kill Seer? If you can't get rid of Seer, you need to start picking those droids off as fast as possible. Will do very well in Assault. This is a very good objective carrier for crates. This is very good in Scramble. The only thing it does not like is Chance, really. But it only cares so much about Chance. So, yeah. But in Chance, you can go nuke them. That's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, the Seer's disgusting and terrifying, and also you can put a shield upgrade and have Impervium and a tactical relay.
I know, love it.
Seems really good.
Seems like it should be worth 4 points to me. I don't know. All right. Well, I think that's all the lists that we had. Like I said, our goal is I wanted to go through things you're going to see, talk a little bit about, each of the different types of lists. And I just kind of felt it was worthwhile to go through that. We will be back next week. Sunday, I won't have a concert on Sunday, so we will do Sunday night officially. And that'll be the last cast before Worlds. I cannot guarantee that we're going to cast the day after Worlds. I have no idea what my life's going to be like. I really probably will want to, because I will be very high on it, but I cannot guarantee we're going to do Worlds the day of the last day of Worlds. We might have to do like that Monday night after I get some sleep. I think it all depends on the sleep ratio, because if I don't get a lot of sleep the whole weekend, I'm going to come home and just like pass out. So
yeah,
but I'm not going to League that Monday at all. So I'm going to be home. I'm not going anywhere from it. Now, real quick before we wrap up, if you are going to Worlds and you do want to hang out, JJ has ditched us, has no interest in going, it seems. So JJ is probably going to get kicked off the cast. I don't know. And maybe we'll just delete him from the show permanently. But if you do want to hang out, I will probably, I guess now that JJ's not going in, it's just me in my own car. And the other two locals going with me are staying in their own room and driving together. So I there's going to be some time. I'm going to make time to hang out with Greg. And so if you are around, it'll probably be Friday night or Saturday night. I will probably be hanging out with Greg. My goal is to make day 1 of Worlds. And if I can make day 2, I would like to make day 2. But, my goal is day 1 of Worlds minimum. So I probably will not party Thursday night, because I'll be taking, that if I get in, I'll be taking it seriously. If I don't get into Worlds, I will 100%, we'll just sit around and drink all night. Like, at that point, I will care less what goes on. We'll just be there to party.
Play some
and make fun of JJ.
Have fun.
And we're going to be there to make fun of JJ too. At least we got to go to Worlds. JJ didn't even attempt to try to go to Worlds, so I don't know.
Lies.
Maybe we should make lists that says wish JJ was here.
And randomly put it in the background of the GSP stream when they pan out to the audience.
Yeah, dude, can we? How fast can we get like a little like stand up sign with like half your body on it, and then I could walk around and stick it in the GSP stream? Oh man, I bet Dion would love if I did that.
Oh man, that'd be great. That'd be hilarious, man.
All right. Well, we got to figure out. Somebody knows how to make a half body shot of JJ. We can get you a picture. If you can get me a sign printed, I will 100% carry the sign with me all weekend long to every table I go to. And I promise I'll take a selfie too. And I'll stick it up, be like, hey JJ, what would you do for your maneuver right here? And they can't kick me out because you're just not a real person. Be like, JJ, what did you tell me to do in this situation? Like, you told me to joust with Django, right? 5 ships on one. That's the best. That's gonna work out good for me, right?
Wrong
Yes.
bet. Yes.
I actually expected you to put a bubble in me and say you should have just ran Nora Y-Wing.
No, I would no.
I will
No.
add that in.
No. Fuck Nora Y-Wing. No, JJ. No.
Oh, man.
You know what? Just
Easy.
for
You can
you.
do the letter Y and then no Nora, but you can just bold the Nora, the N-O and Nora, so you just have 2 words to say why not Nora.
All right, I can't do that because my daughter's name is Nora. So like my daughter will probably think I'm saying something about her. It won't matter how I try to explain it away. It's like my daughter's name is Nora, spelled differently, but her name is Nora. I will not hear the end of that one if I like have that sign that has JJ saying no Nora, and like no, I'm not gonna do that.
That's perfect. I love it. Oh, man.
So since we started so late tonight, and I apologize, I was at my local, but it's the last in-person games I get unless somebody's around this weekend. So we are not going to do Mando tonight. We will try to catch Mando up tomorrow, maybe, probably tomorrow. I know I have some free time tomorrow night. So JJ, do you have time tomorrow night?
Yes,
all right. So we'll do it. Do you want to do 9 o'clock? Do we want to do 10 o'clock? That way we're after Greg's stream.
Yeah, that works.
All right.
I got a game tomorrow night. That game 3. So yeah.
Okay, so as soon as as soon as game 3 is done, we will be going live for Mando season 3, episode 2 discussion. If you want to join us, but if not, we will see you next week Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2100 Eastern, or 0100 UTC. Thank you. Have a good night. And we'll be back on the flippity flop.
Have a good night.
Thanks for listening.